More sarcophagi. More grave robbing.
A skeleton.
Those are Maria's remains, Mordred's wife.
How do you know that?
That's a female skeleton. And you can see the sword tip in her ribcage. It broke off when Mordred murdered his wife.
Didn't he do that to empower the sword?
You're right. That's the tip of Mordred's sword. When Maria stood in the way, he murdered her. The tip broke off in the process and stuck in her chest. A stone coffin with a skeleton in it.
If we were to believe the Book of the Guardians, that was once Mordred.
Hey Mordred, how does it feel to be looking into your own grave?
You two are getting closer. Please excuse me.
No idea how deep the water is here, but I'm guessing that we're a long way below the water level. Mordred's grave. The purest preaching platform. But for what kind of an audience? Nobody was supposed to find their way here. Everything's very weird. This passage is full of rubble. There's a whole bunch of hieroglyphics on the altar.
Well, we know who the hieroglyphic expert is.
There's a sentence in Latin chiseled here. It means, at sunrise, the king sent his warriors into battle against the darkness. Unusual for an altar engraving.
Is that any use to us?
I don't know. Perhaps.
Yep, there you go thinking again.
Press in these hieroglyphics. Most probably in a certain sequence. Valentina.
Yes.
You know what's weird? There's light everywhere down here. Even burning candles.
No way.
Everything seems to be rather unearthly.
Especially with all the lights.
Wait a minute.
It could be that they come on when a certain door is open. But when was the mechanism for that installed? And by whom?
Or we're not the only ones who are wandering about down here.
Whatever the case, we still haven't reached our goal. Marcus thought that the way to the Black Mirror had been closed forever with the chapel.
But he hadn't reckoned with the genius of his brother.
Are you starting to admire Mordred?
Just take a look around. The castle up there suddenly seems tiny compared to all this down here. It's so imposing and overwhelming even. Kinda majestic. The vaulted roof is just awesome, don't you think?
I don't think we should waste too much time hanging around.
Okay. If you remember what she said, we need to do like the crown, bread, house, boat, shield, goblet. Uh-oh. Now we're cooking with gas. Whoop, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Uh-oh. Now we've done it. Now we broke it.
Wow.
We're definitely not in the catacombs anymore. This looks more like an alchemy laboratory.
Uh-huh. Well, we're definitely not in Kansas.
I've been here before.
Mordred?
No, as a child.
What?
I've got a kind of faint memory of it.
I told you it was a
Have a look
daycare.
Perhaps it'll come back to you more strongly.
Yeah.
Oh, this is from the flashback.
That's it. That's the hole that Angelina fell into as a child. I
Ah.
climbed in after her, but it's blocked up now. No wonder I couldn't find it up on the surface.
And how did you two get back out of there? Through the catacombs?
No. Bates. Oh, it was him. He got us out and then filled in the hole. But before that, we were at the portal. We were standing right in front of it.
That's right. The flashback
It's
showed both him
behind
and
this
her
door.
standing in front of it.
Had Angelina opened it?
I'm not sure anymore. Whoa, a real witch's kitchen. Mordred would definitely have ended up
Ooh,
being
watch your
burned at the
language.
stake sooner or later. Aw, Mordred's tea kettle. How cute. Ruler of the underworld or not, 5 o'clock was tea time. Oh, maybe there are some 800-year-old homemade cookies here, too. A lectern. What kind of a book is that? Monoculus pater omnis delesmi totius? No idea. All in Latin. There are water basins everywhere here. Mordred must have been a bit of a clean freak. Great. Even more tea kettles.
Ooh, it's
That's a
okay.
depiction of a soul key. Prima materia, planet metals, basilisk. Welcome to Discworld. Those are really nasty looking gargoyles. Worse than those fiendish things from the Academy.
Above the wells. I'm not sure what that means.
These are the best blades in the land, forged by the most skillful of smiths. Much too good for those butchers that my brother.
You know, every time he picks up a
sold.
sword, he has his
You're
flashback.
scaring me. Please, put that away.
And yet, they're nothing compared to my sword.
Adrian, stop it!
Huh? What?
It's all right. Everything's okay. Just put the sword down and then everything will be fine.
Yeah.
From now on, we'll have to watch out you don't pick up a sword again, okay? You're not going to go near a sword again, Adrian. Do you understand? We don't want you having an accident or anything.
She can read
Okay,
Latin.
Sister Valentina. Is there a reason you're talking to me like some kind of wacko?
None. Apart from the fact that you look like one and are behaving like one. Your eyes have turned black again, and you're fiddling about with a sword, and you're speaking like Mordred. Now then, please do us both a favor and keep your fingers away from sharp-edged weapons.
That definitely must have looked nicer way back when, but it's very solidly built. If it had been damper down here, then the beams would have rotted away ages ago.
Could represent a scepter. A stove. The shaft once led outside, so
Don't
there was a
touch-
shortcut then.
Don't touch that sword.
That's not ordinary soil. Looks like there is tar mixed in with it. Somebody wanted to be sure. The beams don't seem to be weight-bearing elements. But what are they for then? Perhaps they had damp cloth stretched across them because of the smoke that would always be coming from the alchemy experiments.
How do you keep the cloth damp?
They must have the Tabula Smardina here, the fundamental text for alchemy. Eco. Here it is. The Smardina tablet, the alchemist's Bible.
Ooh, the
But
Alchemist's
I'd
Bible.
better not touch the book. it would fall apart at the smallest touch, like nearly everything here. The book is open at the homunculus chapter. Is that a coincidence, or was Mordred busy creating an artificial life?
Yep. Homunculus,
Strange.
artificial life.
Interesting stonemasonry.
Save it!
The faces are supported by hands.
Nico.
Hacked out the stone wall and filled with groundwater. Ought to be drinkable.
Nope.
Only the lighting makes me a little suspicious. Even more cupels and serpentines. This is where Mordred mixed his recipes. A sublimation vessel for using in Athenor, a special alchemist's oven. I've never seen such a good one before. Bellissima.
Ah, bellissima.
A really fine alchemy laboratory. There's virtually everything there that they used to use back then. But I doubt that Mordred was interested in creating gold. The flasks point rather more to him being a blender of poisons.
Poisons. Lord.
A considerable sword collection. Mordred must have been quite a weapons appassionato.
Ooh, an appassionado.
Valentina,
Yes.
have you got any idea what all this machinery and stuff down here is for?
That's a perfectly equipped alchemy laboratory. Mordred was a man of science.
He's certainly not going to be able to help me with my physics studies. Alchemists were only bothered about creating gold.
That's not correct.
True.
There were definitely alchemists who worked on other things too.
Oh, yeah, opening demon gates. I'd forgotten.
They also tried to concoct healing potions, or the opposites, poisons.
They were definitely more successful at the latter. Are you gonna let me take a look at your dagger?
Dagger? What's a dagger?
No, definitely not.
I think I know how to open the door. It's quite simple.
All right then. I hope you know what you're doing. What are you doing there?
There was a door in the academy. It could only be opened with the blood of a Gordon. My blood.
Yeah, he stabbed
When I
himself.
wanted to help Angelina as a child back then, I cut myself. That's why I was able to open the door.
Gordon blood. One further reason why only you can be the guardian. Let me go first.
Why?
I don't know what might happen when Mordred sees his beloved mirror again. Think about that thing with the swords.
Okay.
Okay. Sound like a whoop pup. Okay, I'm sorry. I messed up. Uh-oh, cutscene. That's a big mirror. Now we're gonna see her true self. Okay, we see Mordred.
You see that?
Yes.
Where'd they get there? How'd they get there?
What does
we
it
saved
mean? Is that Mordred? Or is that me? And why do I have the urge to touch the mirror?
No.
Don't touch
It's
it.
Mordred who wants to make you do that. Don't touch the mirror, ever.
Okay.
Don't touch.
The reflection shows your soul, and the part of Mordred that's within you.
Mordred? Why does he look like one of these shades?
Mordred's soul is still trapped behind the mirror. What you have in you is the shade of Mordred's soul.
Oh.
We somehow got
the
to send
shade.
Mordred's soul back into the black mirror, and do that without setting it free.
Okay. But how then? Haven't we just had an exorcism that went all wrong?
No, not an exorcism. We need something else. Are you sure there's nothing in Mordred's book you've overlooked?
Yeah, absolutely. I can show it to you if you want.
Ooh, show it.
These pages. There's some writing appearing. That must be Mordred's notes. But how come there's something there all of a sudden?
The mirror must have activated it, maybe?
Ooh,
If you
activated.
believe my ancestors, it's possible that the soul leaves the mirror If the shade is already bound in this world, a reunion of soul and shade would constitute an unimaginable power potential. The soul belonging to the powerful and feared by all King Armundor is exactly the right one for my son to be made into, and what he would have become if my brother had not blah blah. The guy definitely would have benefited from a few sessions with Dr. Winterbottom. But hold it, there's something else here. Everything is prepared. Armundor's bones lie upon the altar. His shade will soon be bound to them. Nothing more stands in the way of the crossing over of his soul. Now all that has to happen is for the boy to be freed from the yoke of his contaminated soul.
Sounds like the name of a rock
Soul
band.
transfer. Mordred's soul shade in me. Yes, of course. That's his plan. He's lured me here so that his ritual can be completed, and his soul can cross over into my body. That's exactly what the curse has been for.
Only Mordred hadn't reckoned with his soul shade landing in a guardian's body. That's the only reason you've held out for so long.
But that doesn't help us all that much. If we release this shade that's inside me, Mordred's soul will then enter me.
Shh, Adrian. I think I got an idea.
What was that?
Let me think about it for a minute. Adrian's reflection is a mix of his own soul and Mordred's soul shade. I don't have any better way of describing it. There's absolutely no way Adrian's soul can be allowed to lose the struggle against Mordred's shade. But what is on the other side? Only Mordred's soul? Or has Adrian got one of those soul shades as well? Adrian, can you read me the section about the shades from the Book of the Guardians, please?
Wingardio
The
Leviosa.
ancients' graves are watched over by their shades. Their fate has been thus for thousands of years now, with no end ever envisaged. They were born in death, and it is death they wish to spread. The ancients forced them into our world. Thus, they don't belong here. They can be neither caught nor appeased. However, the light from the green flame unsettles them. It drives them into the darkness. One should not come too close to them there. Their power is old, very old.
A shade is created in every case when somebody dies, but not in this world, but behind the mirror. I know from the Vatican files that there were human sacrifices here in order to see if their souls were good or evil. The same sort of idea as witch burning. Mordred wrote that a soul could leave the mirror if its shade was already bound here, which is exactly the case here now. So, if Adrian were to die here, then Mordred would win. Adrian's soul would have been freed from eternity, and his body would take on Mordred's soul. But we have to get Mordred's soul shade out of Adrian one way or another. We absolutely have to make sure Mordred's actual soul can't leave the mirror, and Adrian's soul has to stay where it is.
Sounds right?
Adrian, have another look in Mordred's book. Maybe there's more there now.
I did not want him to die. I wanted to save him from his wretched fate. I wanted to make him my son again. My son, no bastard from the loins of my cursed brother. I have kept to the ritual exactly. Everything has worked well, only I was unable to bring a beat back to his heart. I tried everything, all in vain. From now on, I am quite alone. There is no one whom I can initiate. Marcus has taken everything from me, and now I shall take everything from him. I must make haste my sword.